Hey everyone, it's B, and you're listening to another episode of the In Your Feelings podcast. Today we are going to be talking about what love is not. We live in a world where we have all experienced different kinds of love, different kinds of feelings, and there are so many definitions of what it means to be in love, what love truly and deeply is. We are all searching for something special, for something meaningful and pointed and real, but sometimes it can be difficult to differentiate between what is good love and what is toxic, or what is rooted in attachment, or what is not actually serving you and your heart. There are so many human beings who exit connections and they look back on the time they spent in a certain situation. They give themselves permission to see clearly what they were settling for or what they were calling love, only to come to terms with the fact that it wasn't really love at all. Sometimes we can become so comfortable in a certain way of feeling that we forget that love should be soft, that it doesn't always have to be pain or confusion. Sometimes our patterns or our pasts or the way that we experienced love as a child can push us into the kind of connections that aren't actually secure or safe because they are all we've ever known. And that is why I wanted to create a podcast episode dedicated to reminding you of what your heart is deserving of. Love is not uncertainty. Love is not attachment. Love is not fear or entitlement or perfection. This is your reminder of that. But before we get into the podcast, I did just want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Wonder Wellness. Wonder makes the world of cannabis simple to understand and easy to experience for everyone. They make low-dose, approachable cannabis forms that are innovative yet intuitive. Their products are designed to be easy to use, fun to explore, and conducive to living well. Exploring cannabis can be complicated and quite intimidating, and it's nice to know that these products were dreamed up with the intention of mediating that and making the process of exploring this space feel inviting and enjoyable. What I really love is that Wonder was created for those who have never experienced cannabis before or who haven't in a long time, which is really reassuring if you are slowly figuring out what works for you and what you enjoy. So whether you're trying to add a little more happiness and laughter to your life, or you're looking for ways to sharpen your focus and concentration and be a little more productive, or you're simply just looking for a means of creating moments of relaxation and serenity in your day, whatever your journey looks like, Wonder Wellness can help you get started. Last but not least, I do just want to disclaim that these products are intended for persons 21 plus in Illinois, and individual experiences may vary. If you'd like to learn more about Wonder Wellness, you can do so at wonderwellness.co. I will, as always, leave the link down below in the description. All right. My first little reminder within this topic is that love is not uncertainty. You will know when someone wants to be in your life. And I understand that at times it is not that black and white, that we are all going through things that sometimes cause us to close ourselves off, that sometimes make it impossible to be all that we wish to be for the human beings we care about. But that understanding comes with depth and with security, with what you share with another person that helps for you to know deep in your heart that while they might not be able to show up for you in this moment or in this season of their own lives, they still care about you. So what I mean when I say that love is not uncertainty, I mean love should not be the main source of confusion in your life. Love is honest and vulnerable. Love speaks, it has a voice, it communicates, it ensures you know where it stands. Love is not games, love is not manipulation. Love is not wondering if someone cares about you. Love is not overthinking someone's intentions because you know what they are. If someone in your life consistently leaves you feeling confused or unworthy or like you are simply just an option, if you are constantly overthinking a connection, if you are waiting around for it to meet the potential you see within it, if your heart is constantly left feeling disoriented or unappreciated or like it is not being held, that is not love. I promise. There is more to love than having to question if someone cares about you. The people who will love you beautifully in this life are the ones who will stand directly in front of you, and they will ensure that you know that they value you, that they are grateful for you. And they won't just do this when it's convenient or when it is easy. They won't just do this in words or in actions that hold no weight. They will show up. The people who will love you beautifully in this life will be transparent. They will not conceal their feelings. They will not try to hide your connection away or treat it like something that is not special. And you deserve that kind of clarity. You deserve to know where you stand with another human being. You deserve honesty. You deserve communication. You deserve to be chosen. And building off of that, love is not fear. Love does not make you feel like you have to change yourself in order to be worthy of it. Love does not make you feel like you are too much. It does not ask you to stop overthinking. It does not dismiss your anxiety. It talks you through those mindsets. It works to understand you and communicate with you through even your most irrational thoughts. It never shames you for your mind or for the depth of your feeling. And I know that overthinking can make you feel like you are hard to love. I know that anxiety can make you feel like you are hard to love. But you are not hard to love. The right people will work with you to understand the internal battles you fight, and they will never make you feel like you have to apologize for the way that you are. They will never make you feel like you have to apologize for the way your heart beats against your chest. They will never make you feel like you have to silence parts of yourself or water yourself down in order to keep them in your life. Love does not exist in connections where you are constantly worried that the person you care about is going to leave if you say certain things or if you do certain things for yourself. Love is not control like that. It is not having to do everything perfectly in order to be safe within it. It is not being afraid of expressing yourself so you close yourself off in order to keep it around. Love does not make you feel replaceable, like you are not worthy of holding it, like you are the reason why someone might walk away or find better. Love is not that kind of fear, that kind of concern. And when you care deeply, when you're empathetic, you often try your hardest to make something work. You will give and give. You will fight for the person you feel for. And while your capacity to love is beautiful, you have to understand that it deserves to be poured into the right connections. If you are constantly editing yourself and your behavior, if you are constantly giving and giving because you feel as if that is the only way to keep someone interested or happy, that is not healthy. That is only ever going to leave you exhausted. Love is safety. It is knowing that you have something special with another human being. It is an understanding that exists between two souls that make you feel at ease within its energy. You will never feel like you are too much. You will never have your emotion or your interests or your hope held against you. You will never have to apologize for the way you exist. You will never be asked to quiet the parts of yourself that deserve to take up space here. You will never feel like if you were just prettier or funnier or cooler, you would have something that was more secure. The right kind of love just exists within security. You work to make it that way. It chooses you as you are. It never makes you feel like you are replaceable. It never manipulates you into thinking that you have to do more or give more or be more in order to keep it stable. The most beautiful kind of love is stable and secure. It eases your anxiety. It eases your overthinking. Love should be your safe place. It should be your peace of mind. This next reminder is one of the biggest lessons I learned about love as I grew up. And that was that love is not a melting pot. And what I mean by that is when you enter into a relationship, you are still an individual human being loving another individual human being. You have both come into this connection with your own pasts, with your own dreams and hopes, with your own personalities and goals. You are both working towards better versions of yourselves. You are both working towards making your life something you are proud of. And often in relationships, this coming together, it can almost become too enmeshed. It can feel like you are melting into one another, and not in that beautiful way that we've been taught. You know, growing up and watching movies or hearing about these intense love connections where two people quickly become attached and their worlds melt into one and they are interconnected and almost addicted to each other. That is not love. That is attachment. That is codependency. On the other hand, real love honors individuality. It allows for you to be your own person, for you to have your own life outside of your relationship that nurtures you and nourishes you and builds within you your own foundation of happiness. Your relationship is not the only source of beauty in your life. You are working to create the kind of life that is beautiful in every aspect. You do not lose yourself in your connection. You do not become so deeply enmeshed that you forget who you wanted to be or your friendships or your goals. Love honors the freedom that exists in being true to yourself, within it and outside of it. The most beautiful kinds of connections are not melting pots, but rather they are unions. They are the coming together of two individual human beings who are growing and learning and making their lives their own. Love honors that. It inspires you to be your own person, to make your dreams come true. Love supports, it does not stifle. And when you feel that kind of freedom in a relationship, it helps for you to grow into a version of yourself that you are proud of. And that only ever strengthens love. It only ever strengthens your capacity to grow in love because it feels like a supportive environment. Love is not codependency. You should not have to feel like you have lost yourself in order to keep it in your life. You should not feel like you have to sacrifice all of the things that make you an individual in order to make it work. If you are so deeply rooted in another human being, if they are your foundation, if they are the only thing you pour into, that is an attachment. And you cannot deeply love something you are deeply attached to because you will always be afraid of losing it. Because losing it means you lose your sense of self and your worth. Losing it means that you lose your foundation. Losing it means that you lose your purpose. And that is not safe. That is not healthy. Real love is foundational and beautiful because you have the freedom and the capacity to build your own foundation, to strengthen your heart and your sense of self to the point of being able to love someone without fearing the loss of that love. The loss of love does not scare you because you know that you will be okay on your own. You will heal and survive. You will be able to look to the other strong aspects of your life and have them nurture you and fill your life with purpose. Love complements your life. It complements your growth. It complements your individuality, and that kind of beauty only ever makes for the strongest connections because you are never gripping at that kind of love. You let it flow through you. You appreciate it for what it is. You appreciate every single moment you have fully and with presence because you are not afraid of losing it. You are not afraid of losing yourself. You know that you will be okay without it, which only ever helps for you to deeply appreciate the fact that it stays, that it endures, that it supports, that it exists as yet another aspect of your life that drives your happiness. Okay, the next little reminder I have is that love is not entitlement. Falling in love is easy, but staying in love requires work. And just because someone sees within you something that they want to protect and love in this world, just because someone chooses you does not mean that you can stop feeding into love and nurturing it and growing it and putting in effort. Just because you are committed to someone, just because someone wants to stay does not mean that you are entitled to their love. You have to earn that love every single day. You have to choose that love every single day. You have to show up for that love every single day. You cannot get complacent with love. You cannot take it for granted because you assume it will never leave. You have to nurture love. You have to feed it. You have to honor it. You have to ensure that you are always treating it like the rare and beautiful thing it is. And don't get me wrong, being comfortable in someone's energy is a deeply, deeply beautiful thing. But there is a difference between feeling secure within a relationship and getting so comfortable that you stop nurturing a relationship. Love deserves to be protected and preserved like fine art. You cannot neglect it. You cannot stop showing up for it. Love is doing the work. It is communicating and being vulnerable. It is being there for the human being you care for. It is celebrating your connection, not just with words, but with action. Love is knowing that you found someone in a world of billions that gets you and ignites something deep within your heart. Love is therefore working to defend that, to choose that every single day. And so, please, if you love something, just take the time to appreciate it. Take the time to show up for it, to honor it, to pour into it, not just 1 month in, but 5 years in and 10 years in, as if it were the very first day. You have to continue to grow and build. You have to continue to talk, to learn about the person you care for. You have to continue to make the effort, because love is never yours forever. Love is never guaranteed. So how will you keep it? How will you choose it each and every day? Last but not least, love is not perfect. No one gets out of this life unscathed. We are all just trying to heal from things that we do not speak about. No one is perfect. We are real human beings trying to love other real human beings, and that is beautiful, but because of that, love won't always be easy. There are things that you will go through, that the people you care about will go through, that will be hard to weather. Love does not gloss over the reality of life. It does not make the past hurt less or the healing any easier. And while love cannot save you, it will hold your hand through these things. You have to look at love not as the main thing that will make everything better, but the thing that will see you at your darkest and hold you there. Life won't always be perfect, and you cannot expect for your partner or for yourself to be perfect within it either. And so, despite what we have been taught, despite the fairy tales, despite the way love has looked in movies and on television and within the songs we listened to as children, love won't always be faultless, won't always be enchanting and magical. Sometimes love will be difficult to carry. Sometimes you will have to work through very real things with the person you care about. Sometimes life will throw circumstances your way that will feel heavy. Sometimes life will ask for you to grow, and that growth won't always be comfortable or welcomed or full of ease. But throughout it all, if you have genuine love, you have something that will stand by your side and weather those storms with you. You have someone who will work through the tough days, who will not run from the dark, and that is love. Love does not shy away from the grit of life. Love does not ask for you to be perfect or for circumstances to be perfect in order to be felt. A different kind of love is felt in the less than perfect moments. A different kind of love is felt when you have been through so much at the hands of life and you survived together. You made it through side by side. That is love. And so, no, you will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that is real. The kind that brings down your walls, that asks you to share the parts of your soul you have tucked away and kept hidden from the world. You will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that shows you that it is okay to be the kind of person who balances both hope and hurt within them. That it is okay to be the kind of person who has not always known how to quiet the beating of their heart within their chests. And this love, it will hold you there. It will not vilify you for the ways you have had to heal your sadness, for the ways you show up in this world. This love, it will not flinch at the sight of your darkened past. It will hold you there. Not just when you are a gleaming example of beauty or perfection, but when you are baring your teeth, when you are unraveled before it. It will not run from you when you take off your mask. You will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that connects. This love, it will not shy away from the depth of you. It will dive. It will sit you down and ask you about your childhood home. It will ask you what it felt like to lose your mother. What it felt like to always be the person who never quite fit in. This love, it will know you, and on some levels, it will feel like it always has. You will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that reminds you that goodness exists. This love, it will inject honey into the soul of you. It will feel like warmth has cracked within your bones, and you will see how it learns you and fights for you and stays to weather the storms by your side. You will be reminded that there is connection in a world that sometimes chooses distance over depth. You will be reminded that there is hope to be found pouring from the fingertips of another human being, tucked between the layers of the things you have yet to discover about them. You will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that is light, that isn't heavy to carry, that does not weigh down the core of you. You will finally understand that love was always meant to be soft, that it was always meant to be tender. And so, no, you will not find a love that is perfect, but you will find a love that reminds you just how worthy you always were. This love, it will show you that you were never asking for too much. That the way you sent your heart to war for other human beings was not foolish. That the way you were incapable of loving in halves was not wrong. This love, It will show you that it was always okay to be the kind of person who loved in a way that was full and nourished and hopeful all over. That it was always okay to be the kind of person who could never shy away from their heart. This love, it will make up for all of the times you were asked to slaughter your instincts, for all of the times you tried to break yourself down just to comfort or impress someone who was not meant for you. This love, it will show you that you were always worthy of it, that you always deserved to be seen and understood, that you always deserved to be held and cared for the way you held and cared for all that came before it. This love will teach you that you are never too much. You are always enough. You were always enough. Okay, that is all for today. Thank you for being here, and I really hope that these words helped to strengthen your heart and helped for you to see what you are deserving of and the kind of love that exists in this world. I know it exists because I have felt it. And after years of settling for things that did not feel like what I just described, it felt like peace. It felt like coming home. I questioned it at first because it was so different than what I was settling for in the past, but I promise you that love can be beautiful. Love can be kind. Love can be vulnerable, and you deserve that kind of love in your life. You deserve to be chosen. And I hope this podcast episode drove that home just a little more. And so until next week, I hope you know that you are so deeply appreciated and you are so, so worthy of everything you want in this life.